So, my thoughts with everything going on after the game yesterday kind of feel relatively the same as they've been almost all season so far, with a few added things. And I'm going to really talk specifically about A.J. Brown in this little portion of this. I get the frustration. I think every Eagles fan completely understands it. Any logical, realistic Eagles fan understands the frustration and how annoying the situation might seem right now for a player of your caliber. But this is something that I think everybody should by now understand with this team, with this organization, with the culture that we've been building here, that we've been watching as fans from the outside cultivate, spearheaded by Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, and of course, Jeffrey Lurie. Success is not about stats. Success is not about, having the most yards or making 25, 30 catches in 2-3 games and, leading the league in these meaningless numbers, because most of the time these regular season awards are exactly that, just regular season awards, and don't amount to anything. Sure, your own individual legacy, I understand, and it's not a selfish thing to want that, to want to build your legacy, to want, to lay your stamp on the game's history, leave a mark and be remembered. There's nothing against that. Nobody's saying that he's in the wrong for any of this. It's just, why not just, at the bare minimum, if you're going to talk about it, do it like you did last week. Do it in a press conference. Bring it up to the teammates. Keep it in-house and don't let this boil out to the media, because now I'm keeping off of everything because I don't want to hear the discourse, because that's all everyone's going to be talking about. Not the fact that the Eagles and the Bucs played a great game yesterday, that for the first half the Eagles dominated it, the second half the Bucs did, but Baker and the Eagles defense had one moment where things could have went either way. Eagles made the defensive stop, Baker threw the interception, and it basically ended the game. No one wants to talk about the implications moving forward after the Eagles reached 4-0 and the Bucs dropped down to 3-1 with this game. Nobody's going to talk about that, because all we're going to be talking about is A.J. Brown, like I am right now. And again, it's not that I don't disagree with him. I agree completely, and I am just as frustrated. However, last week you literally had a touchdown and 100 yards. Literally your entire career in Philly, you've had over 1,000 yards a year. And last year, you weren't even playing for most of these games at the start of the season, and you still eclipsed 1,000 yards. Saquon's not running for 2,000. He's just barely at 250 right now for the year. He got a touchdown yesterday. He contributed, and he's talking about how much he loves to win. Devontae's not saying much. Jalen Hurts is saying that we got to clean things up. It's a work in progress. And moving aside from A.J. Brown, the whole entire regular season, what is that what's that saying that Tom Brady always talked about, and Patrick Mahomes even, that the regular season is the regular season, yes, but it's also the preseason for the postseason. This is where you perfect your craft. This is where week in and week out you try to get better at certain things. Not every game is going to go the exact same way. Not everything is going to go as perfectly as you plan it. Your 15 scripted plays are going to get sought out, and then you got to make adjustments. And that is right now where we're at with this team, with Kevin Patullo. Needs to learn how to properly make adjustments, because he's not doing it to the level that can help this team be at what they were last year when we were winning. But then again, at this point, Kellen Moore wasn't doing that either. We were injured. We had struggled mightily against the Buccaneers, against the Falcons, and barely beat both of those teams. Actually, we lost to both of those two teams, the Falcons and the Bucs. Barely beat the Saints, and we held on against the Packers. Sound familiar? We held on against the Buccaneers. We barely beat the Chiefs and the Cowboys, and we just barely escaped the Rams. This isn't the 2023 collapse. This is a team not even with an identity crisis. They are trying to get everything synced up, ready to go for when it matters most, because even at their worst, they were still able to come back and beat the Rams. Even at their lowest, they were still able to hang on and beat the Buccaneers. And at their best, They controlled and dominated on the defensive side, especially the Dallas Cowboys, who just put up 40 points against the Packers in a tie, and the Chiefs, who just demolished the Ravens. So this team is in a perfect position right now to continue to do something great, like I've been saying all year long. We just have to see them iron out those few kinks. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, this is just like a broken record. All we keep hearing is iron out those kinks, do this and do that. And while that's true, that's football. This team last year wasn't doing anything like what they were doing in November and in December at this time of the year. They were struggling heading into October. They went on a bye week this week and then barely beat the Browns. And we were still questioning if this team was good enough yet. And then they took care of the Giants. They blew out the Cincinnati Bengals, who we all thought at the time was a great team. Holy shit, we're back. It takes time. It takes time, and it's not like you're not going to... Everyone's going to run into a couple bumps into the road, right? Like, it's inevitable. Like, there's always going to be cracks in the foundation, but this team is built strong enough. They can hold up. They did last year, and they won a Super Bowl. They could do it again. So I'm just hoping, because we haven't heard anything about A.J. Brown or anything along those lines regarding what he said on Twitter, on X. But I have faith. And I know if he's really sticking true to what he said, he will, keep his head down and get back to work. And eventually the things that he wants will come to him. Trust me, it all works out in the end. And this team is built for the long haul, not just for, the next few games, not just for the rest of this year, but for beyond. And things aren't always going to be easy. So I really do hope that while I understand his frustrations, that him and the rest of the team can figure it out, because the frustration doesn't just lie with him. I think we're going to focus too much on A.J. Brown when Saquon talked about how we can't keep winning ugly. How Jordan Mailata talks about wanting to do more play action to help open up the run and get the ball out to more people. Because there are things the Eagles can be doing that they're not that can make it so much easier. So, all in time. Eagles got the dub yesterday. Let's keep it at that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Phillies. Screw the Mets. And, Bad Bunny, I cannot wait to see you in Santa Clara, baby. It's going to be a great halftime show. Peace out, y'all.